Hey guys, it's Todd with Adventures in the Bible. I wanted to talk a little bit about the video that you're about to watch. It's not a normal, crazy, goofy, video that I normally do, but I like this video in the fact that it comes from two different perspectives about the same event. This video was actually a production that me and my wife did for the church that we go to here in Weatherford, Texas, Life City Church. Shout out to them. Each story was written by us. Mary's perspective was written by Leslie, and she did a fantastic job of writing that story. And my side of the story was written by me. For Joseph's side of the story, not my side of the story. Anyway, so what you have is two different perspectives on the birth of Jesus Christ. And it's pretty cool because you can kind of get into the mind a little bit of what possibly Joseph was thinking during that time and possibly what Mary was thinking during that time as well. But anyway, like I said, it's not a normal video that I normally post. I will be back to doing those here in the near future. Been busy, sorry. But I did want to at least put something out there. And like I said, I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what's coming up. I've got a couple of different characters that I am coming up with, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, enjoy this production of the Mary and Joseph, the story of Jesus from Mary and Joseph's point of view.
It can be a little wacky, and it's definitely silly. And sometimes, it can be a little funny too. This is a place where the Bible comes to life through your imagination. This is Adventures in the Bible.
You know, as I stood there holding baby Jesus in my arms, I couldn't help but think back on what had happened that day. The day started off full of chaos and confusion and, quite frankly, fear. Fear for my life, actually. Because Mary had insinuated and told me that we should probably send a camel ahead to make a reservation for some place to stay. But I insisted that I knew this out-of-the-way place that nobody would know about. Turns out, everybody and their grandmother knew about it. And we got there, and there was no room. I mean, every bed and breakfast all across the city was taken up. And we even went to the Motel 6. They did not leave a candle on for us. You probably have to be over 30 to get that joke. But we went from place to place, and we heard the same thing everywhere. There's no room. And it was at that moment that I realized there might be more than a birth that night. There may be a death. Mine. But I was in panic mode. I mean, Mary's time was near. She was getting in more and more pain, and we were desperate. We were desperately looking for a place to stay. And we went for a place that I could not find anywhere. And I got to think, I was like, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is not how it's supposed to happen. The Messiah is not supposed to be born in the streets. And we were panicking. I was looking around place to place, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a stable. A stable? No. But I saw Mary. She was hurting so much. And the contractions were coming quicker and quicker. And so I quickly had a discussion with the innkeeper. Kind of an intense moment of fellowship, I guess you might say. Because we had to find some place to stay. And I finally convinced him to let us stay in the stable. We rushed inside, and I began looking around, trying to find some place for her to lay down. I began to pile straw together and to throw some hay on the ground and made her a bed. But what about the baby? No, I couldn't think about that right at the moment because Her pain was becoming too intense. And as I grabbed her hand, I began to hold her. In that moment, I felt the pain gripping her body. And not long after that, the baby Jesus was born. And as I heard the baby's cry, I couldn't help but let my own tears flow. Because that baby was the one who was born to be the Savior of the universe. That baby, God allowed me to hear his first cries. And the mother, Mary, not only was she the one chosen to be the Savior of the universe's mother, but God allowed her to be my wife. Her, it was a no-brainer. She always was an angel. But me, who was I that God allowed me to be the father of his son? Who was I to be the one to carry him, to raise this baby? Mary's voice cut through my thoughts. Joseph, can you find some place to lay the baby? I looked around, and there was just a manger, a place for animals to eat. That's all there was. So I took the baby in my arms and I laid him down. And as I looked at his face, there was this peace that just came over me. A peace that I never understood, that I couldn't explain it. But at that moment, I knew he was my king. This baby was my Savior. This baby was Emmanuel, God with us.
A Savior. This tiny baby that I had carried inside for so many months, this tiny little newborn. How could I fathom his kingship and his power? Wait, getting a little ahead of myself. As if my mind wasn't always on such a holy moment. If I'm honest, my thoughts that night were a little more in annoyance at my betrothed. We don't need to send a camel ahead to make a reservation. I know the way. It'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. Can confirm, he did not know what he was doing. It was not fine, and we were lost. But that angel, he said I was chosen. Me? I didn't feel special or like a servant of the Lord that night, or like anything was going according to plan. Person after person. There's no room. There's no room. Okay, God, are you sure? Are you sure you're in control right now? Because no room for a Savior? The King? I wonder how many people can relate to that. With the fear that gripped me with every contraction, knowing this child was coming soon. Now. How could I bring the King of the world into the world on a street? This wasn't enough for him, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. Then Joseph. Oh, that man. That wonderful man. Taking on everything when he didn't have to. Taking me in and loving me. Knowing how people would speak of us, how we would be treated. But in that night, he acted so quickly. With his trembling, shaking hands, he was wonderful. I knew he was scared. He didn't stop. I heard loud talking. I heard him speaking something about a stable. A stable? Is this really happening? but no time to think. The pain was coming in waves, more intense and more intense, telling me the time was near. And I will tell you, the pain of labor while riding on a donkey, 10 out of 10 do not recommend. Joseph helped me off the donkey and into the barn, and I could tell he had quickly shaped the hay into some sort of makeshift bed, but he was as lost and stressed as I was. I looked around and I was trying to make sense of things, and I realized we didn't have anything. We didn't have a cradle. We had nothing. And then I realized I had nothing to offer God, and all I had was my heart. And I realized that's what he wanted all along. I didn't have anything. We were so poor, I had nothing. I had my heart. It got more and more intense, and Joseph helped me sit down, and not long after, the Savior of the world was born. The moment I heard that first cry, and I held him in my arms, all the pain and exhaustion of the last several months and several hours that melted away, and all I could do was look at him. Just wonder. These little tiny hands that were reaching out for warmth, weren't they the hands that had put the stars in the sky? These hands, the same ones that would touch and heal and save and redeem and restore. Who was I to get to cradle his baby in my arms? Hadn't his ears heard angel songs and angel symphonies? Who was I to get to sing him to sleep? Who was I that the Spirit of God would rest on me and allow me to carry the Christ child in this way? There were so many things I couldn't fathom or understand, but I did know that the one who would save us, change us, the ones the prophets foretold, Emmanuel, was here, God with us.
Thank y'all so much for watching the show today. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to tell a friend. You never know who else might enjoy the show. And also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. Thanks. Y'all have a good day.